Hi, I'm Mark Monlux, and this is your Friday night movie recommendation. Last week we took a movie from 1941, and this week, we're going to take a movie from 1951. 1951. Oh man, what a year that was. The Korean War just entered into peace talks. On TV, Dragnet and I Love Lucy premiered. Also brand new to the scene in syndicated newspaper cartoons was Dennis the Menace. It was the first time that the U.S. Um, television was broadcast transcontinentally. I'm not sure how they did it, but they did it. It was also the year that commercials were filmed in color and broadcasted. Now, unfortunately for people in the audience, there weren't any color TVs, but it kind of, when the advertisers want to start showing things in colors, technology will quickly follow through. And it wasn't long after that that color TV sets started appearing. Let's see what else happened in 1951. Oh, An American in Paris won Best Picture at the Oscars, and Too Young, sung by Nat King Cole with music by Ted Young, was on the Billboard Top 100s. So the movie that I really am excited about, well, it was really hard to choose a movie from 1951. First of all, there were a lot of strong contenders for this selection. I mean, I was tempted to select The Day the Earth Stood Still, and I was really tempted to do another one of my huge favorites, When Worlds Collide. But in the box office, the one that outshone both of those was The Thing from Another World. And it was directed by Howard Hawks and Christian Nyby. And there's a lot of conflicting different actors when interviewed about this film said that they were, gave the directing credits to different directors. They were both working on it at separate times. And Howard Hawks was later go on and said, no, I did most of the directing. And Christian Nyby, he would say, no, I directed it. Well, they both directed it. And they're both directors are known as good directors in their own field. Nyby would go on to do a bunch of television directing after this movie. Anyway, let's talk about the movie itself. The movie's taken from a novella by Don A. Stewart called Who Goes There? And what's interesting about The Thing from Another World is they had to make some adaptations from the novella to make it affordable for 1951s, because this movie was done on a really low budget, like $50,000. I mean, low budget, but it doesn't look that low budget. They had a lot of good effort went into this film, and it did stay very close to the original storyline, except that the UFO, rather than already being in the ice, fell from the sky. They're saying, "Oh, we're sending up these people to check out this unidentified flying object that crashed, or this strange aircraft." In fact, the filmmakers wanted to get the Air Force involved as consultants on this film, and the Air Force turned them down because at that point in time, the Air Force was saying there's no such thing as UFOs. Anyway, so another thing that they did, okay, so object falls rather than already being in the ground. And another thing is, in the novella, the creature turns out to be a shapeshifter and can imitate human bodies. Well, not quite the budget for that in 1951. So they made it into more like an intelligent carrot, is I think how they refer to it in the film, or rather, it it's a vegetable sort of type thing, but it's also kind of draining everybody's blood, and it is also well, it's slowly killing people off, and they can't let it get out, and so the film, its premise was just intriguing to audience. This is sort of like the beginning of the Cold War era, um, and a lot of that fear of possible sneaky intruder-esque, weird, otherworldly invasion vibe that we were getting from the Cold War was really instilled in this film. Instilled, how it comes across. But the vibe of the film, with its setting of isolation and in the cold tundra of the North, there's a scene where they're all circled around where the thing is buried in the ice, and they're in these heavy, parkas, because it's really, really cold at the North Pole or South Pole, wherever. And well, that scene was actually done in 100-degree weather in California, so those poor guys were sweating. Anyway, it does come across, though, as very cold and isolation, and that wonderful sense of paranoia that really was intriguing, or a great outlet. And this movie went on to really influence a lot of other films and inspire the people in the audience later on. Like some members of the audience, like John Carpenter, who went on to be a director, and he did a remake of this film in 1982 and called it The Thing. And it's an excellent example of how you can take the original source, do a remake of a movie and just make it better. And he did that by going back to the source material and making the creature a shapeshifter. And that's a bonkers film. But really, I want you to check out the original, because the original brings a lot forward. You can see why this is a bit of a touchstone, and it's a fun film. And there's this wonderful line, the final line in the film, which is, "Keep watching the skies." That line by itself has been homaged so many times over the decades since. And like I said, that little vibe of paranoia, of awe, of curiosity, of threat, just, you're going to have so much fun with this film. And you can watch it on Tubi. And certainly, I think you can even watch it on YouTube. Look around. There are free versions out there for you to enjoy. Now, if you like this movie recommendation and my other ones, please follow me on my YouTube channel or on my TikTok. I really appreciate it. I also do little unboxing videos and other things as well. I'm going to put on my YouTube channel a link in the doobly-doo so that you can see the original trailer. Check out, from 1951, The Thing from Another World. And I'll have another movie recommendation for you next week.